I recently went to the Bahamas for the first time, and of course, I had to do the most popular excursion that everybody talks about, which is swimming with the pigs. So, in this quick video, I'm going to share my experiences with this excursion and give you everything you need to know before booking this trip. And if you are new to my channel, 3 days and 3 noches, I bring you honest reviews, travel tips, and information about the destinations that I go to and show you can have an amazing vacation in a really short amount of time. Make sure you check out the other videos I did in the Bahamas, including the Nassau airport and a review on the Grand Hyatt Bahamar. One of the most important things that you should know before booking this trip is that since it's one of the most popular things to do in the Bahamas, there are so many different options and tour operators to choose from. And of course, I did extensive research before choosing this one, and I'm so glad that I did because it's definitely very easy to choose the wrong one. So my first tip is to use viator.com to book the excursion, and I actually use this to book all of my excursions whenever I travel because you can read the reviews, and you want to choose one that has more reviews than less, and obviously you want one that has good reviews. Another thing to consider is how much time do you want to take on an excursion like this, or how much time do you have? Are you traveling with little kids? Because most of the excursions go to Exuma, and if you are staying in Nassau, this can be an all-day trip. I was excited to find this tour company on Viator, appropriately called The Pig, because they go to Rose Island, which is just a short boat ride from Nassau versus an hour-and-a-half boat ride to Exuma. Now, I know it's not the Exumas, but if you are on a time crunch, again, if you're traveling with kids, you don't want to take all day, this is an amazing alternative, and you're going to see from this video that the island is absolutely stunning. Cost of the excursion is a little pricey, but everything in the Bahamas is more expensive, so just keep that in mind. What's included in the cost is transportation to and from the port. You get lunch on the island, use of the beach club and their paddle boards and the snorkel mask, and of course the experience with the pigs. What's not included is alcoholic drinks, and you cannot bring your own because they have a bar once you get to the island. Of course, they want you to purchase them there. Let's start with the transportation. So my first tip is to get your own transportation to the port. And yes, I know it's going to be an additional cost, but once we were in the lobby at the Grand Hyatt Bahamar, we had to wait quite some time before getting into the shuttle. Once we did, we made multiple stops. They kept packing people in, and the ride was quite uncomfortable. So the ride to the port did take a little bit longer because we did have to make those extra stops to pick people up. It was around 40 to 50 minutes, I would say. Once we got to the port, we didn't have to wait too long before the boat arrived that was going to take us over to the island. One important note though, there were no working restrooms at the port. So make sure you go to the bathroom before you leave. There are restrooms once you get to the island. The boat ride from the port to the island is only around 20 to 30 minutes. So again, this is the advantage of a trip like this versus going to Exuma, which is an hour and a half sometimes one way. The other advantage of this particular trip is that most of the other trips that day were canceled because of wind conditions. However, because where the island is located and the path that they take, we were still able to take the trip. So we got really lucky that. And honestly, I loved the boat ride over to the island. It was the perfect length of time. As you can see from our footage, it's absolutely gorgeous. The color of the water was insane. Now, when you arrive to the island, you get about 45 minutes before the actual experience with the pigs. And there are several things that you can do there while you're waiting. They do have a beach club that you have full access to that has loungers and chairs and hammocks. It has a bar inside. Again, you have to pay for the drinks yourself. But my suggestion is to take advantage of this beautiful island and really soak it in, walk up and down, swim in the water. They have snorkeling gear because this was actually one of my favorite parts. Now it's time for the infamous pig experience, and the whole experience really only lasted, I would say, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. You can actually see the pigs ahead of time. They're kept in pens up on the top of the island. And at the beginning of the experience, they come down, they explain to you how to feed the pigs and what to do, what not to do. And then it's time to release the pigs. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little freaked out when they released the pigs. They did mention that they could nip at you, and they come running out and just come barreling into the water because they want that food that you're holding. So there definitely was a lot of commotion going on. Now, the other thing that freaked me out is that they do go to the bathroom in the water. So you see someone, going up behind them, scooping out the poop. So that kind of grossed me out. freaked me out a little bit. So I really only lasted about 5 minutes and then I was out of the water. And you can actually hold one of the pigs, of course, one of the smaller ones, for a photo op if you wanted. But all in all, again, I think it was like maybe 10 or 15 minutes and then I was done with the pigs. And then afterwards, they had a buffet lunch at the beach club that is included in the cost of the excursion. It was rice and chicken and vegetables. And then after lunch, you had some more time on the island. So from there, we went up to the observation deck, which I definitely recommend. It's not a tall climb, but you see 360-degree views of the entire island. And honestly, I wanted to soak in the island as much as I could before having to head back. And this time we left the island from the opposite side. The ride back, again, was around 30 or 40 minutes. This time they took us on a little tour of the celebrity homes right on the water from Michael Jordan and Oprah. So that was a nice little added touch. And this time, instead of taking the arranged transportation, we decided to take our own taxi back, even though it was going to cost us some more money, because I just didn't want to have to stop at all the different locations or feel packed in like sardines. Plus, they had this little pina colada hut that I wanted to try, which was really good. So we had one of those before heading back to the hotel. I would definitely recommend this excursion, especially for families. I thought it was very well organized. And even though I personally did not like the pig experience, I was able to check it off the list without having to go all the way to Exuma. Now, if Exuma is on your bucket list, then definitely that's the excursion that you want to take. But if it's just trying to experience the pigs, I think this is the perfect excursion and it's the perfect length of time. And I will put the link to this exact excursion in the description below. And if you do have any questions, please drop those in the comment section. I do respond to all questions and comments. And keep following us at 3 Days and Tres Noches, where I bring you honest reviews, travel tips, and information about the destinations that we go to and show you can have an amazing vacation in a really short amount of time.